Hi everyone, welcome back to Mainichi Japan Vid, the channel that talks about Japan every single day. Today, I want to talk to you about Japanese geography. This is going to be a general overview, but I think it's going to be a good foundation for you to understand more about the Japanese prefectures, their names, where they are, and so on and so forth. So, when you want to learn more about Japanese geography, uh, you can then do so on your own, but I think this is a good starting point. Now let's start with the naming of the Japanese prefectures. So Japanese prefectures are not named the same in Japanese. So we would, in the states, I guess every state would be a state, right? The state of, what are states, for example? Washington, right? The state of California. Yeah, the state of Hawaii, I guess. In Japan, there are four kind of states. I'm sorry, not states, prefectures. And the first one is called to, and then the second one we have do, and then we have fu, and then we have ken. Here, this is the kanji for to, this is the kanji for do, fu, and ken. By the way, I'm using this website as a reference, uub.jp, and then /map. So, what's a to? What's the difference between all of this? Some of them there's an actual difference. Some of them is just more like for historical reason. So, out of all the 47 prefectures, we have four types. But it's actually simpler than that. There's only one to, one do, two fu, and the rest they're all ken. 43 ken. So prefecture, you would see translated in to Japanese as ken, right? Because those are like the majority of prefectures are ken. The to is actually just Tokyo, Tokyo to, and Tokyo to. So it's often translated as metropolitan area, I believe, but that's just because it's like the capital. It's called differently, I think. Now, do is just for historical reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but it ended up being called a do. So Hokkaido is not Hokkaido Ken, like other prefectures. It's just called a Hokkaido, and so it's a do. And then the fu, these are things for historical reason. They are around here. We have Kyoto fu and Osaka fu. So this used to be very important places historically, and it still shows in their fu. Now, all of the other prefectures are called ken. And there used to be way more, but now we have all of these 47 Todofu ken. When there were more, actually, they might not have been called ken. But around Meiji, I think, they started using this name. Mm, okay, not during the start of Meiji, but as they went on. So Meiji was probably the impetus for all the changes. Now, in general, there are actually many islands in Japan. I'm not sure, but in the thousands, right? I'm not sure exactly how many. You can obviously see Okinawa has many islands. Here you have of Kyushu, you have some islands. Here you have Sado Island. Here also of Kanto, you have some islands. So there are many islands in Japan in the thousands if you count like the small ones. But the major island, you have four of them. The first one is Hokkaido. Here it's shown here, but it's actually to the north of this, the largest island, which is called Honshu. So you have Hokkaido up north, and then you have Honshu, the main island, and then you have this smaller island right under Honshu, which is called Shikoku, and then you have this island, which is called Kyushu. And way to the south, you have Okinawa. But the four large islands are Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. Each of those, well, except for Hokkaido, have several prefectures. We'll start from the top. So in the top, we have Hokkaido. Hokkaido, which is a do, still a prefecture. The whole island, even more than just the island, is its own prefecture. So this is the only one, I think the largest one. prefecture just by size. Now, here we have also, you can see the colors are different. So here we have several prefectures, if you can see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 prefectures. They're all blue grayish. I'm not sure what color this is. Together with Hokkaido, and then here you have a different color, another different color, and you have the red one here, right? So these are regions. Regions, they don't actually have power. It's just how you call several prefectures. I think in the states, like for example, I believe there's the Midwest, there's tri-state area or something. I watch Phineas and Ferb, the tri-state area. So there, it's just like how you call a bunch of prefectures. You kind of group them together in a region, and so these are regions. So this first region, second, third, and there are several ways how to you differentiate regions depending. Also, the name can be different, and also which prefecture is in which region can also sometimes differ, and sometimes they like to call themselves like they make their own region. But yeah, so there's that, the regions. And so since we'll just start from the top and go all the way down from Hokkaido all the way down to Okinawa. So first here we have Hokkaido. By itself, it's famous for food, as most Japanese prefecture, they're famous for their food. I believe there's a lot of farming here. The milk from Hokkaido is very famous. Of course, seafood, and you have also a dish called Genghis Khan, which is I think I've never been to Hokkaido, but I've heard it's uh, lamb. I think it's lamb or it's goat meat, but yeah, it's a kind of lamb barbecue. I don't know why it's called Genghis Khan. That's Hokkaido. Its own island, very big. Also, obviously, because it's up north, lot of snow, and it's famous for skiing, I guess. And also, Sapporo has a snow festival. Now, as we go down, we have the northernmost prefecture of Honshu, which is called Aomori-ken. Aomori-ken is famous for its apples. And I'm sorry, I might be able to give some details on some prefectures, but most of them I don't really know. But that's Aomori-ken. And this region is called the Tohoku region. So here you have the name. So Hokkaido and Tohoku. Where we have Hokkaido, Aomori-ken. As we go down, this is Akita-ken. Akita-ken is, I think, one of the um, most depopulated region. So it has a very high number of old people, and the young people usually leave Akita for either Miyagi in Sendai or to Tokyo, I think. But it's like really the population aging real quickly, I've heard. And then there's Iwate-ken. So here's Iwate-ken. You have Yamagata-ken, Miyagi-ken, Fukushima-ken. So Fukushima-ken is the one that's famous for the nuclear power plants, and this is the Tohoku region. So you might also be familiar with the 2011 earthquake, sometimes called the Tohoku earthquake, because the Tohoku region, including Fukushima, were the most affected by it. Okay. Now we go to let's go to I think this region first actually. This is Kanto region. So you might have heard of Kanto, sometimes Kanto and Kansai, but Kansai is not always called Kansai, but Kanto, which is the eastern region. The To is from east. In Kanto, this is kind of like the metropolitan area where you have Tokyo also in it. So you have Ibaraki, you have Tochigi, and you have Gunma. These are like the bigger regions of Kanto, and also the more like rural, I guess, by comparison. Then you have like the real populated the city, which are Tokyo. You have Saitama right up above Tokyo. You have Chiba, where you have, I believe, Narita Airport and also Tokyo Disneyland. And then you have Kanagawa, where in Kanagawa you have Yokohama. So this is Kanto. I believe it's the most populated region because The most populated city is Tokyo. Number one and number two might be Osaka, but like Yokohama is not far behind. There's also Saitama. So this region is very populated. And although this is what you might think about when you say Kanto, actually there's also Ibaraki, Tochigi, and Gunma, which might be less famous. In Tochigi, you have the I believe where Tokugawa Ieyasu is enshrined. Oh, I forgot the name. I'm really sorry. I think it's Nikko, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, now we have this region, which might sometime be divided again. Here it's called Chubu. So in Chubu, first you have Niigata. Niigata, Nagano, Toyama, Ishikawa, Fukui, Gifu, Aichi, Shizuoka, and Yamanashi. Okay, I kind of went like counterclockwise, which might be difficult to follow. I'm sorry. So Niigata, but not just Niigata. Niigata and Nagano, you might have heard. I believe Nagano was host for the Tokyo Snow Olympics. Not Snow Olympics, Winter Olympics, because it has a lot of snow. Niigata, I believe, has also a lot of snow, but not just them. Yamagata and Akita are also famous for a lot of snow. So this is very interesting. There's actually a mountain range here, kind of like separating this part. I'm not sure exactly how correct this part is. I'm quite positive about this one. But there's a mountain range, and so here actually you have quite different, not climate, but snowfall. Uh, so the volume of the snow here, this is the Pacific, so Pacific side or Taiheiyo Gawa, and this is the Japanese sea side. Although I don't know if every other country agrees, this is Japanese sea, but the Japanese sea or Nihon Kaigawa, and the Japanese sea side, in the Japanese side, it snows way more than the Pacific sea side. I'm sorry, of Pacific Ocean side. So in Iwate, Miyagi, Fukushima, it snows, but not as much as in Akita, Yamagata, Niigata, and I believe Nagano as well. And in Yamagata, I've been to Yamagata, there are also like houses have doors on their second floor, and this is they say it is for like if there's like a lot of snow, people can just come out of their second floor door. I wasn't going to believe this, but our bus went through like a tunnel of snow that was like I think higher than the bus, so I'm inclined to believe what they say. Okay, now that we know this is like the region where it snows more, let's continue. So there's Niigata, Nagano, snows a lot. Niigata is interesting to talk about. I'd like to do so in a future episode. Toyama, Ishikawa, and Fukui, they like to call themselves the Hokuriku Sanken, so the three prefecture of Hokuriku, because this is region is also called Hokuriku. Oh, let's use laser. Oh, yeah. Hmm? Why can't I bring the laser here? Sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. Well, so there's Hokuriku Sanken, and then you have Nagano, we talked about before, the snow. Gifu. Gifu is, I believe, currently quite famous for like people visiting. There's uh, many interesting, historically interesting place. I think it has something to do with the Shogun drama on Netflix, I believe, right? So yeah, the Gifu is interesting. Uh, Aichi is where Nagoya is, where in Nagoya you have Toyota, the company Toyota. I think it's from Aichi. And then Nagoya itself, you have Nagoya-jo, the Nagoya Castle. It's very famous with many historical events. Like I think Oda Nobugawa is from here. Shizuoka and Yamanashi, here they are famous for having Fuji. The Mount Fuji is between these two prefectures. I think I've talked about this before. Yeah. And Shizuoka, I think you might for Shizuoka also probably has like some hot spring. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe they have some hot spring. Yamanashi basically is Fuji, and all they also have Yamakyu, I think. Right? No, not Yamakyu. I'm sorry. Fuji-Q. Fuji-Q, which is a really famous amusement park in Japan. Like if you like roller coaster and stuff, Fuji-Q is the place for you. Okay, now that's Chubu. So if Hokkaido and Tohoku. Tohoku is just this, but it's sometimes grouped together with Hokkaido because, Hokkaido otherwise would be by itself. And then we have Kanto, the most populated. We have Chubu, which is in the middle. And then we go down, we have Kinki, right? Uh, it's not an English word, so don't uh, confuse it for another word. It's kinky, or I think I'm not sure if kinky is actually the same as it, but many of the places they're also called Kansai is here. So Kanto to is east, Kansai sai is west, but it's often called kinky. The kinky region, you have the most famous one. You have also the two Fus. The Fu are here. You have Kyoto Fu and Osaka Fu, right? So these are not Keng. Kyoto Fu and Osaka Fu are here. So very famous, obviously Kyoto, Osaka. And then you have Shigaken, here Shigaken, where you have Biwako, the largest lake in Japan, I believe. And then you have Miekeng. I have no information about Miekeng. I'm really sorry, Miekeng. Nara-ken. Nara is the old capital before it went to Kyoto. Kyoto is Heian-kyo. Nara used to be Heijo-kyo, I believe. So it has Todaiji and some other temple, and it is beautiful. And it's famous for the deers. And then you have Wakayama-ken, which I also don't have much information on. And then you have Hyogo-ken, which include, I think, this island, Awaji-jima. Hyogo-ken is where Kobe is. Kobe, you've obviously heard of Kobe. Kobe Wagyu. What else? I think Kobe is just a beautiful city. And also there's Himeji. The Himeji Castle is also in Hyogo-ken. Very beautiful. I highly recommend. Now, we move on. These are things I usually separated, but here it's kind of like the same. You have Chugoku and Shikoku. So these are actually the one that's in Honshu is called Chugoku. And Shikoku, well, the name of the island is Shikoku, so we just, Chugoku and Shikoku. I don't know why they put it together here. In general, I believe it's separated, but I don't know. Now, let's start with Chugoku. Chugoku, you have Tottori. I think it has a desert. Like, there's one desert in Japan, which I think is in Tottori. And then you have Okayama. You have Shimane, Hiroshima, obviously famous for World War II, and then Yamaguchi-ken, which is the last one in Honshu, the most westward prefecture. Shimane and Tottori, I believe, like the least populated or something. Like these are like uh, the most rural, like maybe in Honshu, I think. Like, yeah, I don't know what's there. Okayama, also I don't know. And then you have Hiroshima Ken. Well, Hiroshima was bombed. It's Hiroshima itself is a big city, I believe. And then Yamaguchi Ken. Okay, so those are like the Chugoku, which is the same word for China in Japanese. So that's, yeah, interesting. And then Shikoku, which just means for countries, or like in this case, probably for prefectures. You have Kagawa Ken, Tokushima Ken, Kochi Ken, and then Ehime Ken. All of these are like interesting. I don't know much about them. I know that many historical figures come from here. At least one historical figure, Ryoma. What's his full name? I forgot. But Ryoma is from here. And then there's like this walking that you can do. You can during summer. I think you can go to several temple, or like many temples. You can walk during a month. It's like a pilgrimage. It is an interesting island. I've never been. I don't know much about it. Last but not least, we have Kyushu and Okinawa. These are often lumped together, just like Hokkaido otherwise would be by itself. Okinawa also would be by itself. So we put it with Kyushu. In Kyushu, you have Fukuoka Ken. I think the most populous one, Fukuokashi. So it's very Yeah, it's beautiful. I think I like it. You have Oitakeng. In Oita, you have Beppu, which has many is famous for its onsen, and I believe it's foreign students. So it has a very high percentage of foreign student for whatever reason, and it's onsen. So if you want to like go to many onsen, you can go to Oitakeng, and then Saga-ken. Oh, I don't know much about Saga. Nagasaki-ken, which was bombed as well, together with Hiroshima in the World War II, and also is where I believe Dejima is, which is the island where foreigner, uh, like the port for foreigner during the Sakkoku, during the Edo period, where uh, foreigner were not allowed to go to come to Japan. So they had to come to this island, which I believe was a man-made island, but I'm not sure on the details. And that's in Nagasaki. And then you have Kumamoto, if you know, is famous for Kumamon, if you know him. Was famous a few years back, I don't know, but now you have Miyazaki Ken, which seems lovely, honestly. If I can choose where to live, I'm really interested in Miyazaki or Kagoshima. Kagoshima is famous for, in the past, being the Satsuma domain, where Saigo no Takamori? No, there's no. Saigo Takamori comes from. Uh, yeah, they also did some horrible things. The Satsuma domain, not Kagoshima. Kagoshima is a modern prefecture. And then you have Okinawa, which is the island, many islands in Japan. It's way in the south, so its climate is a bit different from Japan. So those were the prefectures and the regions. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it's useful. If you're interested, uh, if you like this video and want more like this, do tell me in the comments so I know to make more video like this. And if you tell me what you liked exactly about it, I can try to do that again as well. Yeah, that's it, I guess. See you in the next video.